Alright, what's up everybody? Today I come to you with a brand new demo of Build Awesome, a development tool to help you quickly build websites and put them online. Today I'm going to show you how to build something with Build Awesome from scratch. We're going to create a bakery website. And I already have Build Awesome here running in my terminal. If you don't know what a terminal is, you don't know what a command line is, you don't want to run commands, you can use Build Awesome Pro. I recommend checking that out. That's a streamlined way to use Build Awesome without having to use the command line at all. But today we're going to build using Build Awesome, the open source site generation tool. And to start out, we're just going to create a simple index.html file. HTML is the baseline for any website, and we're going to put some boilerplate inside of it. Now we'll save this here, and any changes we make in this file will then be reflected live on the website. The next step is to create some recipes for our website. Build Awesome also has a command to create content on the command line. And we'll do this using a local LLM to create a very short recipe for cheese pizza. So this creates a Markdown recipe and puts it in our recipes folder. And let's make another one for spaghetti. All right, now we have two recipes in our recipe folder. And to link those up and see how they generate inside of Build Awesome, let's rerun the Build Awesome command. So you'll note here that we're writing three different files. Now these two files are just simply recipes. What we want to do is add our boilerplate HTML around it. And to do that, we're using a Build Awesome layout. Now includes is a special folder in Build Awesome that contains boilerplate files that you want to use throughout your project, and we'll call this one layout.html. We'll move the boilerplate HTML inside of here, and we'll tell the Build Awesome layout where to render the content of individual content files using the content property. We'll now map the layout we want to use in this file using front matter and the layout property, and this is our homepage. So we figured out how to map a layout for our index.html. Let's do it for our recipes as well. We'll create a new recipes.json data file. Now this file name is important because it needs to match the folder name that it lives in, and any data that we set inside of this file will then be propagated to all of our content files inside of the recipes folder. So if we go in here and we set layout.layout.html, you can see that that change is now reflected in our website on the left. So both of our pizza and spaghetti files are now wrapped within our layout file. So any changes that we now make here will be propagated to all of the files that are using this layout, including the homepage. Now the next thing we want to do is link to all of our recipes from the homepage, and we can do that using tags and collections in Build Awesome. So inside of our recipes.json file, we can add a tags property that maps to recipes. So our pizza markdown file and our spaghetti markdown file will now be tagged as recipes. Now importantly, if you add a tags property to a content file in Build Awesome, it will be grouped together in a collection. So if we go back to our index.html homepage, noting that HTML files are pre-processed with liquid syntax in Build Awesome. So if we want to iterate over our recipes on the homepage, we can do that using liquid syntax. If we want the recipes to have a title, we can do that as well using front matter. And we have full access to the data for each of these content files in our collection. Let's switch this to be a markdown file so we can format it a little bit easier. And let's link to each recipe right from the list. Because Build Awesome is the new name for 11D, we will be maintaining full compatibility with the existing suite of community plugins and official plugins in the 11D ecosystem as well. So if you go out to the 11D documentation, since we know how to group different recipes together, we could use the RSS plugin to create a feed for all of our recipes. Say someone wanted to be notified when a new recipe was published, they can do that using the RSS plugin. All right, now I can go ahead and show you how to add Font Awesome to your Build Awesome project. And you can simply do so by including your script. You can simply do so referencing your kit with a JavaScript element here. Now, of course, I've hidden my kit ID inside of this kits.json file. I have a kit ID for FontAwesome and WebAwesome hiding there, so I can't use my kits. Once we have the FontAwesome kit available, we can now use FontAwesome icons. I can do the same with WebAwesome if I want to use a WebAwesome kit. And I'll switch my I element here to use WA icon instead. Couldn't be easier to use FontAwesome or WebAwesome or FontAwesome through WebAwesome with BuildAwesome as well. So say we're about 6 or 12 months into our bakery website and we have hundreds of recipes. And to show you what that might look like, I'll use the create utility to replicate our pizza recipe 300 times. You can see here on the right, we have 300 now pizza recipes in addition to the original. Let's rerun BuildAwesome. We've written 303 files. And now we have a bunch of different cheese pizza recipes on the site. And importantly, this project built in under 200 milliseconds. Let's take it up a notch. Maybe we have 1,000 recipes on our website. In under 300 milliseconds, we've still built 1,000 HTML files. Notably, with WebAwesome still in use here, with BuildAwesome layout on each of these individual files. What about 2,000? About 600 milliseconds, about 4,000. So in just about a second, we've built 4,000 cheese pizza recipes as part of our bakery website. So to wrap things up, BuildAwesome is a very capable, very fast building site generation tool that you can use to build websites. You can use it to deduplicate your header and footer across all of your different content pages. You can use it to generate Markdown, process Markdown, render Markdown. And the great thing about BuildAwesome is that it is configurable to your needs. We've got a bunch of different plugins and utilities. And if you want an even more streamlined site creation and publishing experience, check out BuildAwesome Pro. Thanks, y'all.